Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our last Student Senate meeting of this semester, our last planned Student Senate meeting anyway. Okay, with that, we're going to call this meeting to order at 10:34 a.m. Hello. And then we are going to move on to roll call. Amy, I saw you, so you can take it away.
Thank you. President Naomi.
Present.
Okay, President Mark.
Present.
Director of Finance, Zach. Director of Finance, Zach. Okay. Director of Legislative Affairs, Jacob. Director of Public Relations.
Zach is here. I don't know if his mic's not working.
Yeah. Director of Communications, Amy, present. Senator David.
Present.
Senator Rachel. Senator Reeve.
Here.
Senator Stacy.
Present.
Senator Marykay. Senator Hamza.
Present.
Senator Beheshta. Senator Sasha.
Present.
And Senator Oscar. Okay. There are 10 out of 15 present, so the quorum has been met.
Awesome, thank you, Amy. Quorum is met. Moving on to adoption of the agenda. I have prepared this time, so I will share screen. Okay, start broadcast. Let's see. So someone can shout out if they see the screen.
Yes. I see it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, guys. Okay. And here is the agenda for today. We have 3 items under new business that we will be covering today. The virtual Seesaw Advisory Conference bill, a professional closed closet resolution, and the ASB end of term celebration discussion. If there are no objections, and I'm afraid since I can't see you guys, I'm gonna need some kind of verbal cue if there is an objection. So if there are no objections, this agenda will be adopted. Hearing no objections, this agenda is adopted. Moving on to approval of the minutes. And these are the minutes from April 30th submitted by Amy. And this is where when Stacy was chairing. And I got to catch the beginning of that, and I thought they were doing a really good job when I was there. So congratulations, Stacy. I know the Senate will be very well off when you are president next semester. Okay. Scrolling. There you go. If there are no objections, the minutes will be approved. Hearing no objections, the minutes are approved. I'm gonna stop broadcast and come back to you guys. Okay. Moving on to chair's message. Let's see, for chair's message. I don't have a lot to say for chair's message. I know Board of Trustees will be meeting next week, as well as the Student Advisory Committee. So, be aware of that. Again, if you haven't had the chance to go to attend a Board of Trustees meeting, it is a requirement. So, you should get on that. This is, I think, the last start of the semester. And it's a good experience, I think. You guys should check it out. And then I have, last week was the Cave Pet Palooza. I think I gave that announcement because it was on a Thursday. So, no, Stacy was doing it. So, sorry. So last week, we had the Pet Palooza, and it was a smash, and it was really fun. And we got a tour of the SPCA Sacramento facility. We got to ask the volunteers questions about pet care, pet adoption, that kind of thing. and they introduced us to all of their animals on the facility. So we started with the dogs, then we got to go to the cats, and then the smaller animals. And we saw these 2 rabbits that are like bonded pair. It was really cute. I loved it. And so I know Mark has some plans for continuing this event. So I cannot wait, because I don't care if I'm not in ARC anymore. I'm totally gonna do this. I'm still gonna attend. Yeah, that's all I have for Chair's message, really. It was a fun event. Okay, with that, we will move on to Advisor's message. Brett, take it away.
All right, what's up, everybody? One final aloha for you all. So I got a few announcements, but I really obviously wanted to start with thank you, as always, for showing up here every Friday for an hour and a half. This is the only Senate board that I can remember that didn't have to cancel a meeting because quorum wasn't met. When we were on ground, it was tough sometimes on Fridays for people with work or school or life. So Zoom kind of made it a little more convenient, but still not quite the same. So I just wanted to thank you all for your leadership, your participation. Chad mentioned some stuff last week, and it's really a testament to you all for showing up and showing out every week. So again, I just wanted to thank you all. One day I'm going to meet some of you, I promise. Like Oscar and David, Sasha, we met a couple times before we went remote. So, I hope to have that experience soon. So, which kind of leads me into what reopening may or may not look like. Still a lot of unknowns, but the district did send out a message. I believe all the students got it. I know it was on Twitter. So, fall is going to be still limited because of the schedule. More on-ground classes, I think, are going to be offered. And then spring, so January, is really when it's going to be whatever normal looks like. And normal is not the right word, but, more on ground, right? So for those of you coming back next year, whether you're in Senate, CABE, or not, there will be more classes. And then I don't know about Senate and CABE yet for fall. I wish I had an answer for you, but nothing's really determined yet. So more to come on that. Just a couple announcements. The lab grads tonight. I'm sure some of our senators will make an announcement about that later. But it's from 6 to 8. Actually, the DJ, I think, starts at 5:30. So if you want to hear some beats, come through. The vice president of administration student impression panels are this afternoon. So we have 5 or 6 students that are going to be there. So I've sent them the Zoom link. I'm going to send them the questions here in about an hour or so when we're done. So thank you for those that are willing and able to participate in that. I think we're going to talk about transitioning later, so I'll leave that alone for board members. Shout out to the JBC crew yesterday for appropriating budgets for next year. That really helps next year's board hit the ground running, whether we're on Zoom or in person. So thank you all for staying confused when I went over all your budgets. But it means a lot for next year's board. And then the last thing I'll say is, yesterday I had to leave that JBC meeting to go to a kind of a Los Rios summit with the chancellor, the 4 campus presidents, and they just kind of shared, it was like a round table, but it was really open and transparent. I can assure you that those 5 folks, and I would say everyone at Los Rios does care for their students, right? And it was pretty apparent yesterday. Got a little emotional at times, but it was nice to hear that they're going through the same struggles that we all are, right? We're all human, we're not robots. So, it's been a difficult, crazy 14 months. And I always tell you all this, but it's a testament to you all, and it's going to take you a long way. In your future endeavors, you get through this, you can do anything. So I just, again, want to thank you all. It's been a pleasure to advise all of you. Hopefully I didn't make you too mad. Sometimes I got to tell you things you don't want to hear, but You know, I'm gonna miss these Zoom meetings on Fridays, but I also want to see you all in the flesh. So with that, I think that's all I have. It's 79 degrees in Lahaina right now in Hawaii. So there's your bit of good news, and I'll hand it back to Naomi. So thank you.
Thank you, Brett. You covered everything that I thought about covering and missed. So JVC meeting, the Lavender grad. Thank you. And the VP impression panel. Okay, yep, that's today. Okay, thank you much, Lee. With that, we will move on to public comment. This time is reserved for members of the public to address the student senate on issues not already appearing on the agenda. A limit of 2 minutes per speaker shall be observed with a maximum of 4 minutes per topic. No discussion is allotted on public comment. The law does not permit any action to be taken, nor extend a discussion of any items not in the agenda. The ASB Student Senate may briefly respond to statements made for questions posed. However, for further information, please contact the ASB Student Senate President for the item of discussion to be placed on a future agenda. Is there anyone from the public here who wishes to make a comment? Okay, hearing and seeing none, we'll move on to appointments and swearing in, of which we have none. So we'll move on to unfinished business, of which we have none also. So we will move on to our first item under new business, and that is that requires a motion, and that requires a motion. That's what it does. And that is the virtual Seesaw Advisors Conference for anyone who wishes to make a motion to discuss and potentially take action on this bill.
I motion to discuss about the virtual CCAA Advisor Conference.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to discuss and take action on the Seesaw Advisor Conference bill. Okay, and I will share screen so you can see the bill. Gosh, going back and forth at the share screen. Okay, and there you go. Okay. So Amy, since you made the motion, you get the right to speak first, and you can waive that if you would like.
Which part do I say?
Oh, you can, so you've made the motion, but you just get the right to talk on this issue first. So if you have any comments or about this.
I can waive it.
Okay. Is there any, would anybody like to, Mark, go ahead.
This additional information, the advisor and the associate vice president of student services would like to attend the Seesaw Professional Development Conference. It's a 4-day virtual conference to acquire their advisor certification program, basically focusing on leadership and technical skills. If Brett would like to add some further information.
Yeah, Brett, I was just gonna ask. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, Brett, do you want to say anything more about this? The conference?
Sure. Yeah, thank you. So, and thank you for proposing this. For those of you that this is your first year and you haven't really been exposed to Seesaw, that they have a fall conference, which is for students. And then they have a summer one, which is for advisors, right? And there's a lot of professional development. And in the past, they'd be somewhere and we'd drive or fly there or whatever. But obviously, we're not doing that. So it's just a virtual conference. It's 4 days in June. It's like the 4 Thursdays, I think. And it's a national association that's doing the certification process. So I'll just be sitting on a computer all day. But, hopefully it will help future boards on things that I can advise and guide folks on. And I will be asking about gift cards. So that's really about it. I put the link to the conference in the chat if anyone wanted to take a look at it. So thank you.
Thank you, Brett. Any other comments or questions at this time? Comments, questions, concerns? For anyone who's taken Professor Callahan's class, I got that line from her. The comments, questions, concerns, it's stuck in my head. Okay, I don't hear any other comments. So we can move on to a roll call vote if you all are in favor of that. Okay. Hearing no objections, Amy, if you can take a roll call vote for this bill. Everyone remember that a yes vote is saying you do support allocating this $300, and a no vote is saying you do not support allocating the $300 for the for Brett and Chad to attend this conference.
Yes. Okay, President Mark,
Yes.
Director of Finance Zach.
Yes.
Is Director of Public Relations Nick here?
Yes, yeah, I'm here.
Okay. You vote yes. Director of Communications Amy, I vote yes. Senator David,
I vote yes.
Senator Reed,
I vote yes.
Senator Stacy,
Yes.
Senator Marykay, Marykay. I'll skip her for now. Senator Hamza
Yes,
and Senator Sasha
I vote yes.
and Senator Oscar. Well, Marykay's vote, everyone voted yes.
Marykay, if you're having a problem with your mic, no, we couldn't hear you.
So everyone voted yes.
Okay, with how many votes do we have here now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, with 11 in favor and 0 opposed, this bill passes. And the money will be allocated for Brett and Chad to attend this event. Okay, with that, we can move on to the resolution. Can we get a motion to discuss and potentially take action on the, discuss, that doesn't really make sense. Okay, discuss and potentially take action on a resolution to create an ASB professional clothes closet.
I motion to discuss the professional clothes closet resolution.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Amy and seconded by Mark to discuss and potentially take action on the professional clothes closet resolution. Amy, again, if you want, you have the right to speak first.
I'll waive it.
We'll waive it, okay. It is unfortunate that Jacob's not here since this is his resolution, but I will share screen so you can see what he has sent me. Okay. And there you go. Okay, and I will read it out loud, just, I don't know. Whereas some financially strained students lack the funds necessary to buy professional clothing, therefore preventing them from engaging in professional opportunities, whereas a study published in the Journal of Experimental Psychology notes that wearing professional compared to non-professional clothing induced dominance measured in terms of negotiation profits and concessions and testosterone levels in participants. Whereas American River College has the access to facilities and staff necessary to offer a professional clothes closet to students. Whereas according to the American River College Associated Student Body Constitution, it is further the mission of the American River College Associated Student Body Senate to promote the intellectual, artistic, cultural, and social life of students. Therefore, be it resolved, the American River College Associated Student Body advocate and work towards providing a professional clothes closet for American River College students. Be it further resolved that the professional clothes closet offer professional clothes to American River students for free or relatively low cost. Be it further resolved, if students must be charged for clothing, it costs no more than $5 for access to one pair of professional clothes. Be it further resolved that American River College either offer a professional clothes closet on campus or partner with a local organizations such as Goodwill or San Juan Unified School District to offer this service. Be it further resolved, the professional clothes closet be open to all American River College students. The resolution is not ended, so that is strange. Normally I would postpone this since Jacob is not here. But it's our last planned meeting of the semester. So I would very much not like to do that. You know what we'll do is we're going to switch the items on the agenda. We're going to move on to the next one, which is the ASB end of term celebration discussion. And Brett or Mark, if one of you can call or text Jacob and see where he's at,
Yes.
we will move on. Okay, perfect. With that, we will move on to the next item of business, which is the ASB end of term celebration discussion. This time was technically we need a motion to move into discussion, but I find that a little bit unnecessary. So I'm just going to say we're going to move into this discussion. Yeah, so if you guys remember, we had planned for the Dungeons and Dragons to be an end of term celebration, but it didn't seem like it was everybody's jam. I'm really excited for it, but you know, I want everybody to feel like they've gained something. You know, have some kind of recognition for their time in Student Senate.
Chair.
Yeah, Mark, go ahead.
Jacob's on his way.
Jacob's on his way. Thank you, Mark. Okay. Does anybody want to add to this? Any ideas for what you would like to see for an ASB end of term celebration? I love Jeopardy, so I'm a big trivia fan. Not necessarily the show Jeopardy, but I love trivia. So I have a Google Slides Jeopardy game set up for different events, and I can easily, you know, just add questions that we could play here if we did some kind of thing. And if we did a prize for the winner, it would not be coming from Student Senate funds. So I said in the agenda that this would be, you know, we wouldn't be using any Student Senate funds for this. I invite. Nice, Brad. Okay. Yeah. Any ideas? Any comments on the Jeopardy idea, or any ideas for some other kind of celebration?
Chair.
Yeah, Brad, go ahead.
I'll give you some historical context. So in the past, you know, on ground, right, it'd be catered by Aramark. It'd be like in the community rooms or something, and it was really to celebrate you all and your families. And then typically that's when we did the swearing in for next year's board, and we'd have some sort of dignitary there, whether it was President Green at the time or a dean or vice president or whoever, to do the actual swearing in. So, you know, if that's something you want to do, obviously we can't be on ground, but, you know, to set up something where we have like an official ceremony and we can find someone to do the swearing in, that's an option too. But really it's just calendar wise, right? Trying to get everyone who can commit to a day and a time.
Yeah, I remember so everything went on person right at the end of our last semester, obviously, from the former board. So I remember our swearing in ceremony for those who were there, and our celebration was some kind of, I don't actually remember what it was. I think it was kind of like an icebreaker that we did over Zoom. Yeah, so I just, you know, this is an opportunity for us to do something kind of fun together, and you know, get to know also the next board who would hopefully be there for the swearing in part. So if you guys have any ideas of stuff you'd like to see there. Yeah, this is your time, to add. Okay, it seems like we're not too enthusiastic about this idea.
Chair.
Mark, yeah, go
I
ahead.
think the Jeopardy thing is good. I think that would be kind of fun. Maybe we can do a Jeopardy thing around, the ASP Constitution or something.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we can find out how much senators and everybody's learned. Even though that this is the end of the term, I still think it'd be kind of fun and knowledgeable of what we've learned over the semester and stuff. So I think the Jeopardy thing would be kind of cool.
I do think the Jeopardy thing would be cool. I mean, like I said, I love trivia, so I'm not, I'm a little biased here, more than a little, but I probably wouldn't go with an ASP Constitution thing just because I'm not sure I know enough about the Constitution to write Jeopardy questions or answers on it. So yeah.
So, Chair,
Yeah, go ahead, Barb.
maybe for now, if we could just set a date, because I do have to transition in the new board regardless, right?
Yeah, I know.
And I'll need to let the incoming board know of a date and time. So, even if there's nothing planned yet, maybe we could establish a day and time that people could kind of save the date. And then once I get through May 19th, my calendar frees up a lot. So, I can plan something with anyone's help that wants to help, but, just an idea.
We can have multiple mini games. I love it. Yes. Okay, let's talk about date then. I think for me, I found that trying to discuss a meeting time and date in a meeting, it just doesn't usually work out so well. So if I can just send a doodle poll, is that going to be fine? Is that going to be acceptable if we send a doodle poll after this meeting? But I'll need the contact information for
Sure.
yeah.
I'll forward you the spreadsheet.
Sounds good. Okay. Yeah. So is there any other discussion on this topic right now?
Sure.
Jacob, yeah, go ahead.
I don't have any discussion on this topic, but I was wondering what the outcome with 10.2 was.
10.2, we have decided to switch that. So we have waited actually to discuss that more. So we will be getting to that after this discussion is finished.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, it looks like we don't have any more discussion at this point. Okay, so then we will move back to item 10.2. And the motion has already been made to discuss it, so I'm not going to ask that that be made again. And Jacob, we have already shared screen and seen what the resolution is. We just haven't actually gotten to the discussion yet. So if you'd like to say anything at this time.
Yeah, so basically what I tried to do when I wrote the resolution was I tried to hint that this could be as simple as literally just finding a closet on campus and putting some clothes in it. Or I also had previously reached out to other, I think it was San Juan School District that was offering a clothes closet to their students. I reached out to see if it would be possible to form a partnership. I didn't actually like go through with anything, but there had been like an email with them. And they said that if that was done, that it would probably be okay with them. So it can be as big as like teaming up with other people or as simple as literally just a closet. But I have also have clothes that I had saved up and will have dry cleaned. And then I could actually start the clothes closet off with stuff in it. If this is something that the next board would like to take on. And, even in the next year, I'll be willing to go drop them off at ARC. So if someone from the next board wants to take this on, I think it'd be a good project, and I think it really could help a lot of people if it was done right. So, yeah.
Chair.
Okay, any questions, comments, concerns? Mark, I think I heard
Yeah.
you. Go ahead.
I did see something when we were on ground that did have some clothing. I don't know if it was just for photo. I think it's for a professional photo shoot, for business photo shoot, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe what you were referring to was the Career Center. They did have a clothing drive. And
Okay.
I think that was like, it's not a permanent thing like Jacob is suggesting. It was an event.
Do you think possibly we can partner with Career Center to get some feedback on how it went, or like, some suggestions? I think it'd be smart.
Yeah, I know, I'm pretty sure Career Center would love the idea of partnering, yeah, but that would be definitely up to the next board. That connection has to be with someone from the next board.
Astronomical.
Chair, one thing to consider, right?
Right, go ahead.
The resolution, is one thing, right? Then it's just the next steps, the follow through piece. That's how the food pantry started at ARC. A board passed a resolution they called it the Beaver Cache, and then now it's the food pantry. So it's a good start. I think the one roadblock will be, and this is for next year's board to figure out, is space. Everyone is fighting for space right now at ARC. So that would be the only logistical piece. And then obviously like COVID, right? The safety, health protocols. And I don't know what the district would have in mind for that, but I mean, I can tell you just from being working with students in basic needs, there is a need for that. Oftentimes we get students that, not only are they homeless, but they have an interview in 2 days and they don't have clothing for that. So, I can, just from my own experiences, I can tell this board that there are students that would greatly appreciate that.
Thank you, Brett. Any other questions or comments at this time?
Chair, I have a question.
David, go ahead.
So these clothes would be given away for free to students. Well, first, I think it's a good idea, but if it's going to be given away for free, I think that it's going to create some sort of chaos for students who do not have them. So rather than giving it away for free, I think we should rent it out instead. Rent it out, and then when they, go in for their interview and they complete that, they can come back and return it for the next students to borrow.
Sure.
Jacob, go ahead.
While I do think maybe setting aside some clothes to rent would be a good idea, there would be a need for some students to keep those clothes and use them, even after they're ARC students. I mean, if someone, say doesn't have money to go out and buy more suits or more professional clothes, then, what are they going to do when they return the suit and they have to go to work after? Like, then they won't have clothes. And so I think it's important to do it, but I do see the problem with the free part as well. But I really only envision charging a fee if there was some sort of fee that would be incurred by, Senate that we weren't able to pay. And so to maybe just have it subsidized at least, but I really don't think there would be like a high cost to this. So I don't think there's a need to necessarily charge students.
A few things for the rental idea, just thoughts on it. I usually like the idea, but I think for this purpose, it might not work well. For a few reasons, what Brett was talking about space, if we're asking students to donate and we keep getting donated clothes, space could be an issue. And then obviously with coronavirus, the issue of hygiene is another issue. So the responsibility of maintaining the hygiene of the clothing, continually washing them would have to be worked out somehow also.
Sure.
Yeah, David, go ahead.
Do we already know who's going to be donating to ARC? And so, I guess I should ask, do we already have a number of like suits or professional clothing available for students to have?
Our numbers currently come from, so this is saying that we want this to happen. This is not a plan of how it's going to happen. That has to be with the next board. The clothing we have on reserve at this point seems to be Jacob's set that he's planning on donating. Should this event, or should this become a reality?
I have
Jacob,
one of my family members used to wear a lot of suits, and then they grew out of them because they got old and don't wear suits anymore because they're retired. And so I just have a lot of suits that I'm not necessarily going to wear, so I figured I could donate them and try and start this project.
Sure.
Thank you, Jacob. David, go ahead.
Yeah, so the reason why I asked that is because let's say we launch this and 10 students signed up to receive a free pair of suit, and there were only 5 available. What about the other 5 students? So that's
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a problem that everybody faces. Nobody wants to turn anyone away, but we can only provide for a certain number of people, and I think that's the same thing that ARC is going through with the laptops. When the Chromebook rentals are out, there are students that don't get it, and the responsibility is for the next board, whoever starts this, to continue to improve that and reach more students.
Sure.
David, go ahead.
Yeah, but I think the difference with the computer is that students need it for the entire semester. So it's kind of impractical for them to return it after one use. For suits, we want to provide this for a student because we want them to have it for an interview session or headshots, right? This is only once, maybe two interviews that students may go to. And I think it's for right now, since we're just launching, it's a brand new program. I think it's a good idea to adopt like a rental system versus having them be given away at the very beginning.
Sure.
1 sec, Jacob. I just want to give anybody else the opportunity. Is there anyone else who wants to comment on this issue first?
Chair.
Sasha, go ahead.
I agree with David. I think having the rental be the first step and then going for more options later down the road. I think something like maybe a subsidized buy would be better. So then like those funds can go back to the center and probably go towards purchasing more suits, like at a thrift store, or, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm with David on this one.
I'll say Jacob, then Mark. Jacob, then Mark.
I just want to say one thing to think about is if we're trying to rent suits as opposed to like kind of having like a, place for people to come get suits. Well, one, I think it's going to limit potential of students that are using these suits, because like I said, if you have the suit for one use and you have to pay to use it one single time, then you're not going to be able to have a suit to go to work. And so that's really why I envisioned it, is for like a lot of jobs that, like if you're not working at like a fast food restaurant or, somewhere like that, like you need a suit to go and like go to the Capitol, for example. I wouldn't feel comfortable going to the Capitol and like trying to lobby for bills in my plain clothes. I would want to look professional, and I want to be able to like go out there and speak to them and get my name out there. And if I don't have money to afford a suit, then I wouldn't be comfortable in that environment. And so if I have to pay every single time I use a suit, that's another limiting factor. And then on top of that, when we get the suits back, what are we going to do with it? We would have to staff people to go drive their car to somewhere to wash it, get all of those clothes washed, and we have to pay for the washing and the staffing and the gas. And so there's a lot of fees that would come with that, and there would be a lot more staffing requirements. Whereas if we were giving these suits away, it could literally be, say we figure out a closet that will work in the Center for Leadership and Development. It could literally be Brett sitting there and going, oh, you need clothes, here you go. And there would be no back like requirements. It wouldn't be like a big complicated project. It'd just literally be students in need coming, getting something they need and going, with no extra red tape, no crazy requirements, no paying for stuff. I just think it would be so much simpler, so much easier to help people and not have this get overcomplicated and have to write up all these policies if we could just make it something where we just give the suits away. And frankly, I think there will be people that would donate to this cause because it's a really good cause.
Oscar, go ahead.
Isn't this a conflict of interest if we rent this?
Can you explain how where the conflict of interest is? Oscar? Getting money from students. So you're talking about how would we handle the money that are in need, okay, or okay, well, I can't answer that at this point, so I'm going to let Mark speak. Then I saw David's hand.
Question, or the actual concern I have about this whole rental thing is I'm a student trying to find a job, so I have no money. Now I can't get a suit. You know, so it's just like we have to be very mindful of so if a student comes up and says, well, I don't have $5 to rent a suit, now I can't get one. So we have to be very lenient about or very, excuse me, not lenient, but very mindful of if a student doesn't have funds, now they can't get a suit to go get a job interview. So we have to keep that in mind of if they would do some type of rental thing. But I think that giving somebody a suit, you know, to go get a job that should be the right thing to do. If not, then that will require a bill, you know, to go pay for cleaning and other expenses and such. So we have to be very mindful of trying to create a rental thing, which I don't think is a good idea. I think it just needs to be, if clothes, you know, professional clothes are donated, we receive them as a donation, we donate them to the student. So it's just my input.
Thank you, Mark. David, then Amy.
Yeah, so in response to what Mark had just stated, I think it's my original idea was to just allow students to borrow these for free. But since we're discussing rental here, I think rental is actually a great idea too, because then, which is related to what Jacob was asking earlier, by renting these out for about $5, we can use that money allocated in the future for laundry, for dry cleaning. And maybe we could just, a concern that Mark brought up is that students may not be able to pay for these rentals. And I would say we can mandate for students to pay back once they do have a job. If they do get a job and receive their first paycheck, then we'll allow them to pay then. But we should not require students to pay right when they rent it from us. But to answer Jacob with his thought on, you know, having a suit for, jobs at the Capitol. First, I think it's unrealistic that all students or most of the students coming in to rent these or buy these suits from us is going to be working at the Capitol. Not every student is going to be wearing a suit. I personally work in a law office, and I'm not required to wear a suit to my job every day, right? So having a suit is going to be a great first impression for the job interview, but it's not going to be necessary for, or I guess it's not going to be an all students case scenario where they have to wear a suit every single day to work.
Thank you, David. Oh, sorry,
just
go ahead.
another thought. Okay, another thought is that we can, I would say, I had a thought, but I had just forgotten. Sorry, skip me for now.
No worries, David. Amy,
Thank
I
you.
saw your hand up, but I don't see it now. Would you still like to speak?
Yes. I
ahead.
really like the rental idea. I feel like more students have the opportunity to wear professional clothing for their interview. But my only concern about rentals is that how can we trust students to return the clothes back? If that
Okay, yeah, thanks. Thank you, Amy. Before any other comments, I just want to remind you guys that like this board will not be able to get this board. We're really at the end of our term. We're not going to be the ones who are implementing this. So what I would suggest is that, whoever's implementing it, really they are the last ones who make the decisions about, rental or, whether it's renting or whether it's giving or selling, or giving with a little fee. I'm not, that's not really, that'll be their last call. So what I would suggest, what I'm thinking, is that someone can make a motion to amend the bill to add something about the next board deciding whether it is a rental or a giveaway thing. Right now, there's language in there already suggesting that the resolution is for giving the clothes away. But for those in favor of renting the clothes, if you would like to make a motion adding language to the resolution that would include a potential rental process for the decision to be made by the next board, that is open at this time. And I will share screen again to show you the resolution. Okay.
Share.
Sorry, I can't see you. Is that David?
Yes, it's David
Go ahead.
speaking. I'm interested, and I would like to make a motion to amend the resolution. However, I just don't know the technical terms and what I would have to do, or if this is a motion at all.
Right. Okay. So when you would make a motion for this, you would motion to either strike something or add something. So you can say, if you see the first whereas, you can say, I would like to add the word optionally. I'm making this up, so it's probably not going to make sense.
Right.
In this. I would like to add the word optionally on the first whereas between some and financially. Or I would like to add a whereas statement between the first whereas and the second whereas saying this, or, same thing with the be it resolved ones.
Okay. What if I just want a motion to edit what has already been written, or I guess edit and also to implement a different, I guess, rule for this resolution. For example, making it so that we can turn this into a rental procedure versus having it be one where we're selling clothes.
So are you trying to strike the information that's already there? Because like I said, I think that should be for the next board to decide. So if you want to add something in it, say, be it further resolved that the American Student Senate will either do this, having it as a giveaway thing or a rental service. You can to strike something if you like, but you know that will be something the board votes on. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop sharing again. I really like seeing you guys. So Brett, I'm going to send you the PDF of this. Would you be able to share screen? Okay, thanks. Is there anything someone else would like to add or any motion at this time?
Sure.
Jacob, go ahead.
Just one final thing. You know, when I wrote this, I truly wrote it intending to make it a place for students to come and get clothes so that even when they're not ARC students anymore, they can still continue benefiting from this. And it's not just helping one person at one time for one interview. It's giving someone a tool that they can use over and over again to help themselves and continue to propel themselves into the workforce. So I really think it is very important to make it so that students do not have to pay in order to get this tool, because it'll provide opportunities to people who did not previously have the opportunities. And if we charge money, then it's really just going to be another limiting factor and a lot more red tape, and it's just going to be more complicated stuff, which is what already stops so many people from getting into the programs and getting help that's already out there. So I really hope you all do not make this a rental system, quite frankly. But if you will, then do what you must.
Sure.
I see also Stacy would like to speak, and since they haven't spoken yet, I'm going to let them go, and then you, David, can speak after.
Thank you, Chair. I wanted to bring up the idea of a deposit system because this is how the athletics department handles lockers. Rather than do a rental system, there could be a deposit, and when the clothes are returned to the clothes closet, the deposit would be returned.
Thank you, Stacy. Any comments on that?
Sure.
I think that's a good idea.
Thank you, Amy. But yeah, David, go ahead.
I would say, to answer Stacy, I would say my first idea with making it a rental, but not requiring students to pay upfront. Instead, we would have students pay once they do obtain a job after renting a suit and where they receive their first paycheck. As for rental, with what Jacob is saying, I think right now with what President Naomi is saying is we would like to make this a motion to be, or have this a resolution, and not us to be discussing it, but for the next student senate to discuss. So
yes,
I would say, I think this is, sorry, can I finish?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I would say, I truly think that this is a good resolution. I see the heart behind this, but I think that if we are gonna have the next student senate to make this the policy, then it wouldn't be effective, in my opinion. And that's why I wanted to make the motion to amend so that we can make with what Brett had suggested in the chat to make this open-ended for the next student senate to discuss further.
Okay, thank you, David. Any other comments, questions, concerns, motions? Okay. If they're done, we would move straight to a roll call vote, and we would be voting on the resolution the way it is.
Sure.
Jacob, go ahead.
I call the question.
Okay, you're moving straight to a vote. Okay. So for this roll call vote, we would be, a yes vote would be saying you support passing the resolution as it is. A no vote would be that you don't support passing this resolution. And since there were no motions made, we're moving straight to a roll call vote. So
Chair, can I say one thing first?
Go call to question means we have to go straight to the roll call vote, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Well,
No,
well, for clarification, I did.
David, we have to go straight to a roll call vote. Amy, if you can do a roll call vote for this resolution.
Of course. Okay, President Mark,
Yes.
Director of Finance Zach,
Yes.
Director of Legislative Affairs Jacob,
Yes.
Director of Public Relations Nick, is Nick still here? No.
No.
Director of Communications Amy, I vote yes. Senator David, Senator David. Oh, sorry. My bad. David? I'll skip him for now. Senator Reed,
I vote yes.
Senator Stacy,
Yes.
Senator Marykay, Marykay, Senator Hamza,
I vote yes.
Senator Sasha,
I vote yes.
and Senator Oscar. So 12 voted yes. And it has been passed.
Okay, then this resolution passes. As a reminder, this is our suggestions for the next board. This is what we want to do. This can still, this is up to the next board. If you think it ought to be changed, you bring it up with the next board. But right now, this is how the resolution stands, and the resolution is passed.
Sure.
Okay. Jacob, go ahead.
I just wanted to say one thing about resolutions that I learned while doing it is that even if you want to change it, like if something becomes like not logistical, you don't necessarily have to bring it back to the full board. And if you still want to be transparent with it, you could like discuss it in like a committee or something if you don't want to bring it to the whole board. But it's simple to change things and it's adaptable. So if anything doesn't work out, y'all can adjust it and work with it. It's not set in stone as is, and there's ways to change things. So hope y'all are able to do something with that. And let me know if y'all do something, because I do have the clothes and I would like to give them. So
thank you, Jacob. Yeah, so I know that there were some messages brought up that there are direct messages that were brought up that they would potentially like to change this, amend it still. We can still do that this year, this term, if you are requesting a special meeting, or you would bring it up with Stacy with the next board, which may end up being more fruitful since they are the ones who will be implementing this, should they decide to. Okay. So we have voted on this. We don't really need any more discussion at this point. Yeah, okay. With that, we will move on to the next item on the agenda, which is committee reports. We do not have any active committees at this point, but I will ask, are there any committee reports at this time?
I'd just like to say thank you everyone that worked on a committee this year. Appreciate it. Especially if you were on one of mine.
Thank you, Jacob. Looks like we don't have any other committee reports. We'll move on to board member reports and announcements. Are there any board member reports or announcements? Brett, I see you rearing up. Go ahead.
Well, I meant to say something on committee, kind of echoing Jacob's sentiments. One thing I did learn, I should have put it in the message earlier. Double S, triple C, so the state student senate, they're going to have committees next fall that are paid. So something to consider. And as far as I know, the ARC committee, the shared governance committees next year will be paid as well. There's a lot of logistics that still need to be figured out. And I'll give you a hint for those of you interviewing the VPs later, that there's a question about that on the interviews. So I just thought I'd let the board know for those that participated in shared governance. And then for next year, if there's other opportunities. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Brett.
Sure.
Okay. Stacy, go ahead.
I just wanted to remind everyone that lab grad is tonight. I don't know if Senator Slasha will be attending or not, but I understand that we have to register to be able to attend. And I'm asking that if you can, please do register and support our grads.
Chair,
Sasha, go ahead.
I will of course be attending as I am graduating. So, and I know Naomi will also be there. We will be celebrating our, things, our years past at ARC. And yeah, I hope you all can come today. If you would like, you can still register, but you don't have to. If you have the Zoom link, you can just join on in and join the celebration. There's me a DJ, really good. Like, we've been testing it, and yeah, y'all gonna be bopping if you do join. So come through. It's from 5:30 to 7:30, but commencement will start around 6-ish. So hop on in around there if you want to see their grads and music and keynote speakers and all that.
Thank you, Sasha. Thank you, Stacy. Any other board member reports or announcements? Okay, hearing and seeing none, we will move on to public comment. This time is reserved for members of the public to address the Student Senate on issues not already appearing on the agenda. A limit of 2 minutes per speaker shall be observed with a maximum of 4 minutes per topic. No discussion is allotted on public comment. The law does not permit any action to be taken, nor extended discussion of any items not on the agenda. The ASB Student Senate may briefly respond to statements made for questions posed. However, for further information, please contact the ASB Student Senate President for the item of discussion to be placed on a future agenda. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to make a comment at this time? Okay, hearing and seeing none, we will move on to the next item on the agenda for our last planned meeting, which is adjournment. If there are no objections, this meeting will be adjourned at 11:37 a.m.
Yay.
Hearing and seeing no objections, this meeting is adjourned.